6K, Jessica, monitoring. Evening, Puget Sound. Used at the top of the hour for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net for about 1 hour. If anyone needs to use this repeater for contact, QSY, or any other priority traffic, please say so now. WW7ATS. Good evening. My name is James, and I'll be running the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net tonight. I'll be net control, and we'll begin in just a moment. Good evening. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society meets on this repeater for the audio channel for about an hour starting at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. That's the west coast of the United States on Wednesday and Saturday evenings. Anyone with an amateur radio license is welcome to participate in our net. You can either check in and check out to say hello, test that new antenna, or join us for the entire net. And when you check in, just let me know which it is. Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio operators who take to the airways with fast scan NTSC analog video. You can find more information about us on the ever helpful internet by searching on Western Washington Amateur Television Society. During this net, you can see the video we're all talking about by looking at the Watts streaming website. Click on streaming. There may be some significant delay with that digital output. The video output can also be viewed directly on YouTube, but please understand we can't monitor and respond to all comments real time due to the delay. This NTSC analog video is also transmitted on roughly 1.2 gigahertz on the east side here in Bellevue. Via video link, we have Ron, KD7QKU. Looks like Jim, N7QO, is number 2 in the stack. And Richard, K7ITX, is number 3. Is there anyone else who'd like to join us tonight, or just check in and check out?
7 UHK.
Recognize Jessica's voice, KF7UHK. And just as a reminder to all, the PL tone is 103.5. That's just for the 2 hours we use this net. And also, due to the physical layout of the repeater site that we're using, there is a significant delay. You have to push on the push to talk button, count about 1 Mississippi, and then start to talk. And that gives the receiver and the transmitter time to sync up. First start by asking Jessica, KF7UHK, are you with us the whole hour tonight, or are you exhausted?
I can stand for about 35 minutes as Sylvia worked today, and I'll see her when she comes walking in the door about 8:35 or 8:40, so about a half hour.
Jessica, I know you're driving a lot, so just thought I'd check on that. Let's go to the top of the stack. Don't know if he's ready or not. Ron, KD7QKU, are you ready?
I tested positive for COVID on Thursday, and I was sick before that. I tested negative Wednesday, so I've been sicker than a dog. I still don't feel very good. Headache, sore throat, ached all over. I don't know. I think I'm getting a little better finally, but not much. My Foxfire thing just quit on my TV. I was switching it around. Anything I do, I work up a sweat. Everybody that came to our house for Christmas got sick. Everybody's sick. I don't know, maybe I'm the worst. I don't know. And Mike said last night was his worst night so far. So I don't know if Sherry gave it to us, or I don't know if I got it last Thursday when I went to Eli's birthday party. Jenny, his mother, called on Saturday and said he had it. So I was exposed to him, so I don't know where we got it, but we're all sick. Joanne didn't get it, believe it or not, and Doug and Phyllis were at both parties, and they didn't get it. But and we've all had our shots. I've had every shot known to man, but I still... So anyway, my throat, I had a sore throat. My throat's bitter, but anyway, I called the doctor. The doctor, I said, is there some medicine I can take or something? She said, well, there is, but it's got side effects, and I almost wouldn't recommend it for you. So she said, just take Tylenol and drink lots of fluids, and if you have trouble breathing, go to the emergency room. Well, I don't have trouble breathing. I just ached all over and had a sore throat and a terrible headache. But I'm getting better. I'm still alive. So anyway, I probably will just mostly listen tonight. So back to net, KD7QKU.
Wow, that's an amazing story. You have had had it so many times now and had the shots and everything. I hope you're feeling better soon. And unless you let me know, I'm going to go ahead and pass you in the round, because I know if you're feeling badly, just great, you could join us, but leave any time you need to, okay? Let's see. Sorry, a little distracted here for a sec. Okay, next, N7QO, Jim. Go ahead, take that microphone.
Lee showed up just before the net started, said that he wanted to say hello, but he wasn't going to stick around.
Information. Okay, so, and also I think this streaming got started too tonight, so I think we're it. So we might be wrapping it up a little early. I'll see what you guys want to do. Jim, N7QO, go ahead.
N7QO. Thank you, Jim. Good evening, everyone. Man, Ron, talk about a bummer. Sorry.
Yeah, the heck of it there is you don't know exactly who you got it from, because you can be contagious before you exhibit symptoms. My wife and I actually were taking it pretty easy until earlier this year, and then well, I know exactly who I got it from. I got it from my wife, and she got it only from one of two different places, but we have no idea who it was, and I'm sure that whoever it was would not have gone out and spread it around if they knew that they were capable of doing that. I wish you all the best, you and everyone else there that got it. Hopefully you won't have any requirement to go to the hospital or anything. I can say this: when my wife got it, they gave her a medicine called Paxlovid, and if you take it very quickly from when you begin exhibiting symptoms, I think they say within 48 hours or so, but make a call or go to a Band-Aid clinic or something where they'll of course they'll give you another test, a PCR test, and they could give you a prescription immediately. And it made my wife feel a whole lot better. It did have some side effects for her. It made all of the food taste awful, and had sort of a metallic taste in her mouth. They would not give it to me because of some other medical problems I've got, but it's worth looking into. And sore throat, headache, sorry about that. It's any fever, Ron? Yeah, yeah. I'd go to a Band-Aid clinic, see they can maybe give you something there, the Paxlovid, or possibly some other product that might shorten the length of trouble that you have to go through. I don't know. Good luck with that. That's all I got to say about that. So we'll be praying for you. And Jessica, glad you're home. Glad you're checking in with us. Say hi to Sylvia. We should be there shortly. So glad for that. Let's see what's going on with me. Let's see. Today my wife decided that we were going to watch this movie, which is available on our cable. It's called Oppenheimer, and that thing was like 3 hours long. I'm glad we watched it at home. Otherwise, if I went to a show to see it, I would have had to get up somewhere in the middle of there to make a pit stop. It's really cool being able to hit the pause button, you know. Plus, if you want some munchies or you want a beer or something, it's no big deal. Anyway, that's about the only thing exciting that happened in my life today. Fortunately, I'm feeling okay. It was raining for much of the day over here. Right now I'm showing 48 degrees. It's stopped raining. Some fog today. I guess that's about it for this go-around. Yeah, I think we probably ought to cut it a little bit short too, Jim. Back to you, Jim, and 7QO.
Okay, Jim, and 7QO, this is James, WW7ATS Net Control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society tonight. Let's go talk to Richard, K7ITX at the south end. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I wasn't paying close attention, except right now, you know, there's a NFL football game going on, and it looks like, Detroit just tied the game, and there's no time left. So it's pretty amazing. I I thought for sure it was over. I really did. I don't. Jeez. So anyway, oh wait. Well, they got to kick the extra point. So no, it's not tied yet. And these guys have been known to, or some kickers have been known not to do so well, even with the extra point. What a bummer. Gee whiz, oh, wait a minute. I tell you, this Detroit team is, I don't know what's going on sometimes. They were going for 2 points instead of going the easy way to win the game. So Dallas called timeout to screw them up. So I don't know. Jeez. Yeah, Detroit's kind of Seahawks beat them. I'm pretty sure that was pretty clever. But anyway, doggone it anyway. And let me get back to the net. Ron, oh yeah, no, what a bummer. God dang. I just feel every time I hear about someone, in your case in particular, I just have to knock on the closest piece of wood around because, sheesh, there you go, doink, doink, doink. So, doggone it, I wish they would hurry up and, okay, they're going for 2 points. This is the end of the game, I would guess. You caught it? The game's over. Detroit won. Unstinking believable. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, wait a minute. 23 seconds? No, I don't know. I guess, anyway, Detroit's very happy right now, let me put it that way. So I don't have the sound on, and I don't know exactly but I see 23 seconds there. And the Dallas people look stunned, literally stunned. So, oh no! There's a flag! Oh, God. Forget about it. I wish I didn't have it on right now. So, anyway, what a bummer. God dang it. I don't know what to say. Jeez, I just hope you get better. I just haven't had anything like illegal touching, whatever that is. Jeez. So, so let's see. And it's great to hear you, Jessica. Oh my goodness, I know you got a pretty intense job, so you're looking at you're looking at some time off, I guess. I don't know. I mean, this is, it would have been, I guess they probably have a different, oh no. Geez. It's a big argument now, and it's hard not to, anyway. So anyway, Jessica, hang in there. I'm kind of curious if you're going for that dispatcher job. That's kind of, in a sense, it's kind of what I used to do in project management and construction. You're always dispatching, in my case, dispatching men and material. And you'd be doing the same thing, dispatching men and material. So it's all kind of relatively the same. Oh, God. So the game's over. I guess Dallas did win because it was a penalty, and oh no, it's another flag. God, forget about it. Geez, what a weird game. Okay, so let's see. Moving on. Jim, Oppenheimer. I'm kind of curious about that. I've heard some good things about it and some bad things. For myself right now, I'm watching, I got started, I fell asleep kind of in the middle of it, a movie with Tom Hanks called Finch. And what he does there is, he builds a robot, I guess. Yeah, he builds a robot, and it's one of those things where it looks like hardly anybody's alive on Earth, or something terrible has happened. and yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'll know the end of it. Tom Hanks always he does good movies, it seems like. I wish Ron were nearby, because I have to kind of, admit a problem that I created, maybe for him and myself. Confess to you people that are listening. So, I called Ron out in the last net for telling me to watch the Oregon game and blah, blah, blah. And then the next night he was talking about how Oregon lost. And then I pointed out to him, well, Ron, this is a game that you were watching and thinking they just won, when indeed it was a replay of a game in September. So, I don't know if I slightly embarrassed him or not. I hope I didn't. But I didn't tell the full story either. The story, like Paul Harvey would say, was, Mr. Richard, it was December 26th. He was probably living for about maybe 45 minutes. Hopefully it wasn't any more than that, maybe an hour at the most. I think it was closer to half an hour. But on December 26th in the morning, he was living as if it were January 2nd. And I know it sounds bizarre, Ron. I thought for about 45 minutes that on December 26th, it was, in my mind, it was really January 2nd. And the reason why I was wondering is that I have a dentist appointment on January 3rd, a doctor's appointment January 5th at UW, and so, I'm kind of stressing out. I don't have my new calendar yet, and so the YL comes in, and I'm telling her, gee, I got a dentist appointment this Wednesday. And she goes, well, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah. She goes, well, when is it? I go, well, it's January 3rd. And then I got Dr. Raku on January 5th. And she goes, I was totally embarrassed when she pointed out to me that that's impossible. That this is not January 2nd. It's December 26th. And Ron, so I did worse than you. I skipped the Rose Bowl. I skipped everything. I skipped New Year's Eve. I skipped Oregon. I skipped everything that normally would happen. So, God dang. I don't know if I call that a severe senior moment. Absolutely severe. But at least, thank God, it wasn't, I didn't go around for a whole day like that. I guess that's what's nice about being married sometime. You get slapped in the side of the head, and God, I was just so embarrassed. And I thought of you right away, Ron. You thought the game was, Oregon was playing when they really weren't. And here I was trying to erase all of that and pretend none of that ever happened or it did happen, and that was it. So, anyway, at least I got that off the chest. I hope you guys forgive me. K79 back to net control.
K7ATS, this is WW7ATS net control. No, you can say anything in total confidentiality on this repeater that broadcasts all the way from Everett to Portland. That's fine. Anyway, okay, Jessica, KF7UHK, go ahead.
Anything you say is just between you and us. I have not seen Oppenheimer. However, we watched Barbie here on TV, and I'm glad I didn't go pay for it at the theater because I was not that impressed. Ron, I'm so sorry you don't feel good. I've had COVID once, and that that bronchial thing that came along afterwards. I had that once, and neither one was fun at all. And to me, it like hit me with a ton of bricks, like really fast. And then when it went away, it went away really fast. And could have been because I was taking that Paxlovid. Tasted terrible. You would take it, and then it seemed like it kept on bubbling up. And so, like Jim was saying, that you kind of everything tastes like it. It was nasty taste. I saw a movie the other day called War Paint. I like to watch this Western channel. There's no commercials. It's like, I think it's part of HBO. And I saw a movie called War Paint, and they mentioned something called a wiki-up. Now maybe many of you know what a wiki-up is, but I know what it is because there's a place up on Highway 20 called Wiki-Up. Big sign says Wiki-Up. I stopped there one day and talked to a lady who runs the place. It's kind of a halfway house for people who need somewhere to go, and they have little organizational things they do. And they also have a little museum that you can go look at, like Indian artifacts. But a Wiki-Up is kind of a grass hut with sticks and grass. And in this movie, they were talking about going and burning down their Wiki-Ups. And I was thinking, that's the first time I'd ever heard that from anyone's lips other than seeing this on Highway 20. So I was impressed. It's called War Paint. No big stars that I recognize for my age. Let me break here real quick. And then let's see. For tonight, I made some spaghetti sauce, and I cooked up some beer brats, and I chopped them all up and threw them in the spaghetti. So that's what we're having tonight, with lots of Parmesan cheese on top. And that's what's happening here in the Phipps residence here in the condo in Everett. Other than that, yeah, the day was pretty quiet, and so with that, I think I will pass it back. This is Jessica KF7UHK.
Yeah, KF7UHK, so great to hear you. A wiki-up, I'll add that to my vocabulary. Well, let's see. Let me call, since we're 25 minutes after the hour here, for any visitors, anybody who's just listening in, feel free to come in, say hello, give your call sign, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you can check out again or join the conversation. Visitors, please come now. Okay, no, nothing heard here. Let's see, it's the day before New Year's Eve, so let's see, tomorrow I was discussing with a friend of mine, we both have this thing where we're off the roads by 3 p.m. in the afternoon, an hour before dark. I went out and trained with the Washington State Patrol. Wow, it's been a while, a decade ago. And it's just absolutely so insanely crazy the entire night. I will never again. I think it's like one of those low-budget disaster movies where everybody gets infected with the alien virus and goes crazy. It's like that. It only happens from the time the sun goes down to the time the sun comes up again, and even continues a little bit after that. But it was just absolutely wild. So I'm off the roads for that period of time. I certainly hope you're feeling better soon. I don't think I've known anybody who's had COVID as many times as you've had. Is this the third time? Second? Only the second time. Somehow I thought you had it more than that. You've had it twice. That's amazing. Okay, well, I keep that oxygen monitor handy. You know, those little things that clip on your finger. You can see what your oxygen level is. And if that's looking good, and I guess your doctor's best advice there, just hang in there. Maybe it will pass quickly. It was the 5th Saturday drill, and I was very much surprised. We had 10 participants here in the group that I volunteer in for emergency management and emergency communications. It was a real interesting day. We got a lot of stuff done. Got at least one new person trained in VHF maritime and aviation radios. And also did some really interesting experiments in HF data transmission, and learned that, yeah, there's a reason why everybody's going to the high frequencies and microwaves for data transmission. Man, it is hard to get data through. We thought we were almost done getting a message through, and then the station we were dealing with on HF timed us out, said, no, I'm sorry, you're taking too long. So it all came down. So we obviously have some work to do. I think there's probably some technologies that probably could help us there, because the world has come away, but it might involve synchronous transmission or something like that. So I don't know if I mentioned this before in this net, but I bought some parts, some little voltage converters, and it turned out they're counterfeit. They're not what they say they are. However, this is what an amazing world we live in. I got them for almost nothing, and I added them onto another order, so I'm not too concerned about the cost or the fact that I said, well, these don't seem to work. There's a young Japanese engineer who has a YouTube channel in Japanese, but it's subtitled, I think it was in Russian, and then there was someone doing a voiceover for him in English. And it's so popular because he tells you, here's this counterfeit part, here's how you identify it, and here's a very simple change you can do, and they'll work right, which must be incredibly frustrating for the people in China, because they could have done this and sold them for a lot more money and actually would have had a quality part to put out there. So I just think it's an amazing world we live in, and I hope the Chinese guy selling these, maybe he'll find a new pile of defective something else, and maybe try and look at them first before he sells them, because, now I've got a deal, right? I got like a super duper deal. So anyway, I thought that was funny. I don't know if I told you guys that, but I thought that was hilarious. But back around. Ron, do you want to talk or do you want to pass? Okay, let's go to number 2 in the stack. Jim, N7QO, go ahead.
N7QO, thank you, Jim. I have purchased some electronic stuff from China, and I know a lot of guys who have purchased even a whole lot more, and a lot of it just hasn't worked well. What comes to mind, I've got one guy I worked with who got some portable Bluetooth speakers, and they were showing him in this store how you can put them essentially all around you. So he bought these things and they wouldn't work, so he took them back, and that stands out in my mind. What was the other thing? I don't remember now. But I don't know. Sometimes I think that you can buy stuff and not having an owner's manual, or worse than that, having an owner's manual which has been translated into English, which makes 0 sense, is kind of what you might sometimes wind up with. But so I can sympathize with you on getting something like that is supposed to be authentic, but it does not compute. Dick, so you thought you were in the future. Well, I guess the expression is time flies. But now it's like time went back. So it's like you got younger by a week or so. So, if that's the worst thing that happens, you got it made. But you were talking about how you thought the game was over. I don't know how many times I thought that with the Seahawks, and like in the last couple of minutes, they somehow pull a miracle out. And so, I don't know. I did not record that game today. I was kind of busy around the house here doing some other dumb stuff. But thanks for mentioning that anyway. That I kind of enjoy the games where the score goes back and forth. To me, it's more exciting. But I have to admit, I don't especially appreciate those last-minute changeovers. It's like, wow. And Oppenheimer, I think it was really interesting. It was very intense. I have to say that you have to pay attention. If you don't, you can easily miss something. and then there were so many characters, it was a little bit difficult to keep track of all of them. Sometimes they'll be talking about someone and it's like, oh, what did that person do? Oh yeah. So it actually helped. My wife and I put on the closed captioning on our television set, and that really helped us out a lot. I think we would have missed out on that if we saw it in some theater. So would I recommend it? Yeah. But be forewarned, it's a little bit intense, and you may miss something if you miss a couple words here or there. So I'd say a better method would be to watch this one at the house. I don't know about Barbie. My wife saw that. I refused to watch it, so she went with some friends and watched that. And I said, well, never mind. But I don't know. So I don't know what we're going to do there. And Jim, yeah, amen to the staying away from the roads during the witching hour, carnival, whatever. Interesting. Back to you, Jim, and 7QO.
7QO, this is WW7N in the group. Thank you very much for that. Well, number 3 on the stack, Richard, back to you, K7ITX, and you guys let me know how much longer you want to go. It's about 34 minutes after the hour. So, Richard, take it away.
I'll just follow what anybody else wants to do on whether we quit early or not. Yeah, I'm kind of struggling for things to talk about, believe it or not. So Jim, thank you very much for a little bit more description of Oppenheimer. You know, I'd heard that, I had a cousin that watched it, and she said she couldn't hear it very good, and that kind of disturbed her. Yet on the other hand, Debbie watched it, and she said she could hear it just fine. However, one thing I've noticed about Debbie, lots of times when she's watching movies and I'm not, she'll have closed captioned text going on in every movie she watches. I don't know what's behind that, other than you don't. It's just like insurance, I guess. You know, what else can you say? You know, you're covered if you didn't hear what they said, but you saw what they said. So you know, maybe there might be something something to it with respect to when I watch Oppenheimer. Just make sure I have closed caption on, and because that sounds like it's critical if you miss a word here or there. So that might help prevent that from happening. Let's see. Oh, and speaking of Debbie, she just a couple days ago got the RSV shot and COVID shot vaccine. I did the same thing. We've both had the COVID, and we've never had any reactions. But RSV, yes. I felt like I had the flu for about 2 or 3 days, and then my arm where I got the shot, it was sore for a good 3 weeks. I kept going, this is impossible. I could feel the bump, and it was just weird. So, anyway, but she felt terrible. She was a mess last night, but now, today, she's doing pretty good. So, she got it over with as quick as possible. And, let's see, what else? Like I said, I'm kind of struggling. Well, let's see, why did I write 11:30 p.m. down? Oh, well, yeah, I know I wrote that. So in my younger days, when I would go out at night, and, you know, just down the street to the local hangout, I might stay there longer than you normally would want to. And like, you know, like So anyway, to make a long story short, I was there at 11:30 p.m. and I just noticed all of a sudden cop cars just zipping around like crazy. You know, and I just mentioned to the bartender, man, I wonder what's going on tonight. And he goes, oh no. It's nothing unusual. It's like that every night. It's like 11:30 comes around, and it's just like the bewitching hour. Just all heck breaks loose. And I go, oh, okay. Well, I took that as good, food for thought, and I made sure that I was always home before 11:30. And now I'm like you, James. I'm home before it gets dark. Period. And then I don't even want to go out in the morning when it's dark at all. No way. So, geez. And so, last but not least, no, I didn't record the end this football game that I was just commenting about, but there'll be plenty of reaction on YouTube. Or on Twitter. There'll be or just regular news. I just saw, just out of the corner of my eye, some really big guy in tears for Detroit, who lost the game, being consoled by the coach. And so, this illegal touching, see, there's got to be a story behind that. Yeah. So, this is... And the fact that the game was in Dallas, it almost makes you think that, I don't know if someone's pulling any strings. I find that hard to believe, but so there'll be at least something to do a little research regarding this game, in a little while, or maybe even tomorrow morning. Right? I could do that before the Seahawks. Seahawks are playing the Steelers at 1 o'clock here in Seattle, so I probably won't miss that. I guess their new name, or not new name, but the Cardiac Kids is really sticking to them lately. So, okay, well, whatever you want to do, just in case I'll say 73. It's always fun for me, and especially when it's really nice when Jessica shows up. She's just enjoyable. She always makes me hungry. So enjoy your spaghetti. Way to go. So with that, 73 K7ITX back to net control.
Thank you, Richard. Jessica, I know it's about 40 minutes after the hour. Did you want to take the microphone still, or are you still with us?
There's some illegal touching here. In bus driving, we can't do illegal touching. I think they send you to HR, and then probably right out the door. Speaking of bus driving, yeah, it's been busy, at least for driving buses, and we're going to start our new bid on Tuesday. And what that means is, for the last 6 months, I had the same 4 routes for 5 days in a row, which meant one route I did twice. On Thursday and Friday, I did the same route. Otherwise, I had 4 different routes I did. But they've mixed them all up. They have this new boss in there named Crystal, and she came in with like a whirlwind, and she likes to leave little memos, lots of memos in our boxes about things you can and can't do, mostly about things you can't do. But what they've done is they've mixed up our routes now. So on one day I'll be driving a bus called the 207 around and around Mount Vernon and Burlington up to Walmart. And it'll be a 40-foot bus because later in the day I'll be driving that same 40-footer down to Everett back a couple of times. So they've kind of mixed up our routes that way, where you're not just doing one route a day, you're doing 2 routes a day, a little bit here and then a little bit there. And some of them are mixed together, so I'll be doing a 202 to a 208, and then I switch back to 202 again, and back to 208, back and forth, all day for 7.5 hours or so. So and I'm the seventh from the bottom of the list. So, you know, I didn't have a lot of choices, and even the folks who did have choices are not happy with the choices that we are left with, because this computer program mixed things up so much. My big question is going to be, did the computer program take into account that all these buses come into certain stations like clockwork? We never run into each other because they're all timed in such a way that they all kind of fit together like gears and cogs. And I don't know if the computer program took that into account. We think that there's going to be sometimes more buses in a station than the station can hold, because nobody took account for that, and the computer program didn't take account for that. I'm going to break real quick. I was really happy with my last bid because it was only 36.5 hours a week. Now it's like 39 hours, so now I have to work more hours. And I'll get more money, but still, I kind of like my shorter work week. Even though it's just a little bit shorter, it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then when it comes to this dispatch scheduler job, you know, they haven't started interviewing anybody yet. I'm hopeful, but I'm not that hopeful because there's other people probably in front of me that want that job too. But you know, you can't win unless you try. Kind of like Lotto, even though I don't play Lotto. So I figure I might as well, you know, go see what their interview process is like for a job like this, and then brush up on my skills, or have my next time it comes around, I'll be more ready. And then, as I like to tell some of the folks there, when I get my 10-year jacket, I'll be 75 years old. All right, this is Jessica. I'm giving my 73s. This is KF7 UHK.
Jessica got your 73s there. Wow, your 10-year jacket at age 75. That means you'll only probably be working for maybe another 10 or 15 years after that, with retirement in sight. Well, let's see. I guess I'm up next. Oh, let's pause for a minute. We're 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Any visitors like to say hello to us? Just check in, check out, or maybe join the conversation. If so, come now. Well, the most significant thing I heard about the Oppenheimer and the Barbie movie is that was 2 out of 3 events that actually made a significant economic difference in America, along with the Taylor Swift Eras tour. That those 3 events is, you know, the only reason why we had any economic numbers that were sort of in the black, which I think is absolutely amazing. It's not just 3 kind of odd events, but all 3 are in the entertainment world. I thought that was just very strange. Anyway, I got that from 2 different sources, but I thought that was odd about that. Let's see, I too am kind of running out of things to say a little bit. There was one other thing I thought I would mention, and that is I am tracking very carefully the 1.2 gigahertz bandwidth thing as it unfolds. And so something for you all to think about in the future. We've talked about it. Maybe we'll talk about it next time too. But our output, our analog output, is right where the Chinese are wanting to put all their navigational satellites. So I'm pretty sure who's going to win that. Yeah, 1.2 gigahertz. It's the Badu system, I think is what they call it. But I just noticed last week they launched another system, and it's really very clever. They went around and asked everybody, and you know, the GLONASS system in Russia, and the Galileo system in Europe, and the GPS system in the United States. Gee, what would you do different if you were putting it up today? And the information, of course, is all about navigation, and everyone shared. And so the Chinese system, I think, when it's really fully operational, is going to be just absolutely amazing. They did some things significantly different than everybody else. So I'm looking forward to see what they finally get up there and operational. I guess I will ask everybody, Jim, did you want to go, or do you want to call it an evening, or what do you want to do? Okay. All right. It looks like on the digital side there, I got the votes. And for anyone watching tonight on 1.2 gigahertz, I know some people take their dongles and some write software and see if they can decode our video signal. It is a black and white signal tonight, and it has been pretty much a dynamic video, NTSC video signal, but it's just one picture of what the inside of the shack looks like. there, so we did not we weren't going from person to person as the audio changed, just in case anybody is out there doing that. This is James. My call is Whiskey Uniform 7 November, and this has been the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. We go from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Time on Wednesday and Saturday evenings. Anybody is welcome to join us that has either an amateur radio license issued by the United States Federal Communications Commission or the Canadian Department of Industry. We welcome everybody. And you can either just check in and check out, say hello, test your 2-meter audio equipment, or you can join our conversation. And I certainly do appreciate the owners and operators of the 08 machine for letting us use this machine for 2 hours a night. So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you for everyone's participation tonight. Happy New Year. Stay safe out there. And I will see and talk to everyone next Wednesday. This is Whiskey Uniform 7 November. Good night.